Hey everybody, welcome back to Flatbroke Outdoors, wintertime edition. I don't know if y'all can see that snow is almost up to my hitch here. I don't I don't think anybody else is camping in this campground but me. But it's cold. It's about 20 degrees, I guess, and gonna get a lot colder. It's gonna get down real cold tonight, and I think tomorrow night it's gonna be in the negatives. But I got a lot of shoveling to do here, or it ain't gonna be much like camp for sure. And it's late. It's about 3 o'clock, so I don't know, between the shoveling and all of that and getting stuff set up, I'm gonna be a little bit, but I guess no bother. We'll get it done. I got plenty of wood, and I have the old HCalory diesel heater with me this go around, so we're going to get a chance to see how it operates in the field. So I guess y'all give me a while. I got some shoveling to do. I did bring a snow shovel because I assumed I was going to have to shovel some snow. So I'll spin y'all around. Let's take a look at that picnic table. That thing is swamped with snow. Y'all see that? It's about, I don't know, probably 14 15 inches of snow on that thing. But we are right next to the lake, and I see right through, just past that tree right there, there's an ice shanty out there. I don't know that I would trust the ice at this point because there's a lot of heavy snow on it, and it really hasn't been that cold that long. But anyway, I got to get some shoveling did and see if we can't get us a camp made in this winter wonderland. I'll get back with y'all in just a little bit. Hey everybody, welcome back. I dug a trench over to the electric pole. Since they're charging me for this electricity, I'm going to use it. Lucky for me, that HCalory diesel heater has a 120 plug also. It'll do 12 volt, 120, whatever you happen to have handy. So that's, I filled the thing up and I started it right about 3:30 to 3:40. Hey everybody, welcome back. Excuse me. Well, I've been having camera issues, y'all. My phone did an update a day or two ago, and my camera app has a glitch. And you know, I film with my iPhone. Everything I do is on that iPhone. So anyway, so this is the smoked pork stew I was telling you about, and what's in it. Excuse me, since y'all missed all that, is there's 1 can of Rotel, 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes, some pulled pork I did on my smoker a few days ago, and some pork loin I did on the smoker yesterday, I think. Anyway, and then there's a can of jalapeno pinto beans from the Serious Bean Company. Y'all, it is cold, 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 cold out here. Everything freezing up around here. But anyway, we're gonna eat. I thought I was just gonna be camping to be camping. I didn't think y'all was gonna be able to get involved in what I had going on here because my camera just wouldn't work. I tried forever to get some video, and I just couldn't get my camera app to work. I finally turned my phone off and left it off for quite some time and turned it back on and finally got it to work. I did that a few times, but we just got this chili making now, I got a fire going over there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Yeah, it's in the frame. But anyway, that's just kind of what I've been doing, fretting about that phone. And I do have another phone with me, but it's an older iPhone. I think it's an iPhone 8 Pro or something, but I don't have the mics with me that fit that particular iPhone. You know, they got the lightning jack. So I was just out here, you know. I had texted my wife and told her, uh, she asked if there was anything she could bring me out here, and there really wasn't. You know, I've got some tablets at home, and I typically have them with me, but I didn't bring them with me this time. I wasn't gonna use them, so I was just gonna be out here camping for 2 days or 3 days, just chilling, not doing nothing. Which I don't mind doing that, but you know, I kind of wanted to get some video of that HCalory diesel heater, since that's the main thing I got going on. You know, I wanted to make sure that I got some video of that, because so far it's been working good. Excuse me, it's been on about 3 hours, and the fuel level hasn't really dropped at all to speak of. So I hope that it's everything I want it to be. I know it's got the back of that truck toasty warm. Y'all, I believe I am the only soul camping out here in this particular campground. There's been a few people, walkers, you know, come out here and walk the park, you know, the part that they actually plow. Well, I got everything pretty well dug out around here. I dug paths. I made a path over to the electric pole, and I made a path to here, and I made a path over to the fire pit and around the fire pit. I haven't really been able to spend much time by the fire. I've been jacking with that phone and getting this chili put together, because, you know, I was about to starve out, fretting about that phone or whatever. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at now. We'll take a little walk over by the fire and get some of that warmth right quick, if y'all want to take that walk with me. Got me a little workstation dug out here, and then got a little path up to the truck. Diesel heater's chooching along just fine. No fuel pump noise whatsoever. The only thing you hear out of that is the exhaust and the blower. So I do have it up on about, I don't know, 7 or 8. And I dug out this little walkway going over to the fire. And there's the fire, y'all. Yeah. It's nice. I thought once it burnt down, I might find some trash in there. I didn't find any trash. There's a few cigarette butts rolling around in there, but I'm thinking they're going to get burned up eventually. But who knows when the last time somebody camped here is. Ain't been since it snowed, that's for sure. But we got a pretty good walking area around it. We'll see what the morning brings. We might cook breakfast on that fire, since we got a pretty good path around it, and we got a pretty good jag of wood there. But I'm just out here chilling. It's 14 or 15 degrees right now, and getting cooler by the minute, I think. But I'm gonna keep working on this chili, and I'll get back with y'all in a little while. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is right about, let me see what time it is. Right about 5 a.m. Got about 4. Got a little fire going over there. Now it's time to get some coffee on. It is cold, 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 cold. All right. You know, I got 2 or 3 gallons of water back of the truck, and I have one up in the front floorboard of the truck. Well, that bad boy froze solid. So I had to dig one out of the back so we can get this thing to cooperate this morning. There we go. Fire in the hole. That's tricky business right there. All right. We got coffee water on. It's probably going to take a little while to get that to do just right this morning, but won't be too long before we got some coffee. We got a nice fire going over there. Excuse me. Spin you over. See, I got a little fire going on over in the fire pit. If y'all give me a few minutes, I'll tell you what the temperature is around here. All right, y'all. So my phone tells me it's 6 degrees out here, which I believe it. It's pretty cool for sure. Ooh, I slept good though. I had that diesel heater been running about, let's see, about 13 and a half hours now, and it's got roughly a quarter of a tank of fuel, and I had the temperature set in that topper at 72 degrees, and it did a great job of maintaining above 70 the whole time, so I've got no complaints. As a matter of fact, let's walk over there and I'll shine a little light down that hole. Maybe y'all can get a look at it here. So the easiest way to see this is I'll pull this fuel cap off. It's cold on my bare digits, y'all. And I'll put this light down that hole. Y'all see where it is down there? So it has done extremely well on fuel consumption for being turned up that high. So I got no complaints on that score for sure. We didn't get any visits from the coons last night because, you know, I left my cutting board out after I had cut that pork up before I made that chili. Excuse me. So I figured the coons might get up there and lick around on that cutting board, but they didn't do it. Ain't not a coon track to be found. So that's a plus. Well, anyway, I got my coffee rolling right there, so I am going to have me some coffee here in just a little bit and go sit in my chair by that fire. So I'll get back with y'all in just a few. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is now daylight enough to get a little breakfast cooking. We got a little light flurries going on here. I don't know if it's coming out of the trees or if it's coming out of the sky. We got some hot honey rice bran bacon here. That's what's on the menu this morning. Don't let the sunshine fool you, kids. It's cold. It's about, I don't know, 7 or 8 degrees. So for some of you, may not be cold. But for me, it's pretty cold. I tell you, it seemed like it was going to take forever for daylight to get here this morning. It was don't remember exactly what time it got daylight, but it seemed like sunup was after 7. Let me get this bacon rolling here. So it's a bacon and eggs morning today, kids. That's all we're gonna do, and that is enough. Plenty for sure. Tell you, the old diesel heater has made me proud, kids. It has done everything it was supposed to do, and probably then some. I ran it on about 7 last night. It's got 10 heat settings, and the higher the number, the more heat you're getting, heat and fan speed. But it's on. I don't see no sense in keeping it 75 degrees in there when I'm not in there. So it's probably about on 4 right now. But it's doing what I thought it was going to do. It's not hard on fuel at all. So I'm happy with it. Really it's hard to tell about something until you've been able to, get out there in the field with it for quite a few times. But right now, I would say it's good to go. But my first diesel heater I'm still using. It's 2 or 3 years old and has never failed me. But I didn't have any way to set a temperature and expect it to keep it that way. I just run it on low in my rooftop tent till it just got too warm in there for me, and I just shut it off. And then when I'd wake up in the middle of the night, if I was a little chilly, I'd turn it back on. Or when I woke up in the morning, it was time to get some different clothes on, I'd turn it back on for a little while and let it heat up. But it's been I've never had any trouble out of it, other than my power station not wanting to start it every now and then. Goodness gracious, that got hot on the bottom. Whew, Lord. Burn myself up. Just because it's a silicone handle don't mean nothing. It'll take on some heat, y'all. I've been keeping a fire going pretty much all morning and most of yesterday evening into the night, burning up a lot of wood, but it's nice to have that fire to scooch up to when it's this cold out. And it's going to get even colder tonight. It's going to be in the negatives tonight. So that'll really put that diesel heater through its paces. There's nothing insulating that topper on that truck. I do have, curtains over the windows, but they're not thick curtains. They're just real thin. You see right through them bad boys. You hold them up to the light. But it makes a difference. My cot is real close to one of the windows, and I could feel the cold radiating through that window. So for that diesel heater to keep it up to, at one point it got up to 80 degrees in there. I was like, whoo. Thought about putting on a pan of biscuits and setting them on top of my power station, thinking they'd probably cook. But so I idled it back down to 4 or 5 and let it cool off in there some. Got it down to about 70 or 71, somewhere in there, and I was happy with that. But it's like anything else. It'd take you a while to get used to it. But it's one thing. I got nothing but time. I got this drink out of the refrigerator that's sitting in the back floorboard of my truck. And as quick as I stepped out the door with it, it started icing over. So, anyhow, like I said, I got a box of chicken eggs here, bacon, and inside this butter dish is just butter. I'm not doing any hash browns or anything like that. So we're just having us a lazy day. I don't know what day it is, to be quite honest with y'all. It might be Friday, I think. I think it might be Friday. But I ain't really doing much of nothing, just hanging out. enjoying myself. Running that diesel heater through its paces. And that's a good place to do it. That and my back got to work out too, shoveling the snow. I'm glad it wasn't super wet snow. It's really pretty light snow, so it wasn't near as taxing as you might think, shoveling this much snow. But you would think that these folks, as much as they charge for these camping spots, even in the wintertime, you know, they come right by here with a doggone plow. You'd think they could just plow at least the driveway out. You know, if you was to come up here in a car, you couldn't camp here, not without shoveling it out. Luckily enough, you know, my truck tall enough and four-wheel drive enough, I could back in here no problem. But you wouldn't do it in your mama's car, that's for sure. Yeah. But I did notice that, and I might have told y'all this yesterday, just up the way, there's some spots where I guess they're popular spots where people bring their campers. There's a few of them plowed out, but not back here. But I still don't have any neighbors, and that is music to my ears. Not that I'm antisocial. It's just I don't want to be rubbing elbows with folks I don't know while I'm trying to camp and shoot videos and doing what I do. Anyway, I'm gonna continue on with my cooking process, and we'll see where that leads us. Hey y'all, welcome back to the frigid tundra. Just wanted to give y'all an update on this diesel heater. It's been working great. I haven't shut it off since I started it up. I did put some more fuel in it this morning, but I'm thoroughly satisfied that it would probably run for at least 24 hours on a pretty hefty speed. I'm using it temperature control. You know, I have it set on 72, and so you don't know if it's running on 3 now and up to 5 later or up to 9 later. It just depends. You know, when I come in and out and fan that door, it has to speed the heater up to keep up. So when I did put fuel in it, there was quite a lot left. You know, 7.5 liters is quite a lot of fuel. So if you're staying, I don't know, if you're staying 2 or 3 days, you can get by running it all day, every day on 5 gallons of fuel, I would think. Should be fairly close to right. It's been pretty quiet here. Y'all saw what I had for breakfast. I had bacon and eggs. For lunch, I just reheated that chili, so that was good. And it ain't quite supper time yet, but I did duck into the heat a little while ago and catch Butch's latest video. He was doing a little snow camping in Iowa, a little snow camping, little mice chasing and rabbit hunting is what he was doing. So if y'all didn't catch that, go over to Before It's Too Late Outdoor Adventures and check that video out. I've been looking across the lake. There's more ice shacks popping up here and there. Let me get y'all off this tripod. We'll go for a little walk. Not far, you understand, just a little walk. It was hard for me to believe the amount of people that still drive through the campground when there ain't nobody camping. You know, they just out riding around, I guess. See who's dumb enough to be out here camping. That would be us. Or me. Now there have been some snowshoers come by. Apparently that's a thing they do up here in the Great White North, is snowshoe. They come along this trail here. I see them popping up this hill over here. Excuse me. I don't know if y'all can see down that drop off there. I don't know where they come from. It must be the other side of the lake because I didn't see them, you know, drive past here. But anyway, they come from down there and they come along this trail here, and then they go right out that way. So I know there's a trail that goes all the way around the lake, so that must be what they're doing. But I've never been snowshoeing, so I don't really know how much snow you need to make that any fun or not. I mean, we got plenty of snow, but I don't know. That's just what I saw. Now, there's some people out there just, don't have a shack. They're just out there drilling holes. Let me see if I can unmitten my mitten here. Get y'all zoomed over there where you can see it. So y'all see them little shacks dotted around out there? And then right there to the left of that blue shack, there's some people sitting on buckets. It's way too cold to be out there in the middle of that lake with no kind of wind block. At least right here, I got a little bit of a wind block. That and a fire most of the time. I don't have a fire currently. I let my fire burn down a little bit. But anyway, y'all can see the tracks I had to cut to get in here. Oh man, the wind is relentless, freezing my ears. I think I might build that fire up a little bit and think about what we're going to have for supper. It'll probably be an early night for me tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to sit around out here on the frozen tundra in the wind. The wind is picking up and it's getting colder. So, even if the wind wasn't blowing, it would be colder. But with the wind blowing, it's getting even more cold. So, anyway, enough about that. I'm going to go over there and get that fire stoked up, and I'll get back with y'all in a little bit. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is it's not super late, but it's definitely dark on us. I tell you what, after I shot that video of the snowshoe trail and all that, I started feeling poorly. I mean, I felt like I was going to throw up, sweating, just crazy. I don't know if I poisoned myself with that chili I reheated for lunch. It was plenty cold outside. I didn't put it away or anything. I just put a lid on it and just left it outside. It froze solid. But when I heated it up for lunchtime, it tasted good. It tasted like it did last night. But, oh, Lord, I started feeling bad. So I didn't do anything after that. I got up in there where it was warm and just laid there, hoping I didn't have to throw up. But anyway, enough about that. I finally got feeling decent, but now it's dark, and honestly, I don't feel like eating anything, so I'm not going to cook any supper. So I rebuilt the fire since it died while I was in there trying to get well. Honestly, I really don't know what it could have been other than the food. I made fried eggs and bacon for breakfast, and then I reheated that chili. I didn't have any snacks or anything. Had some water and a couple of drinks of vitamin water. That's really all I've had since I've been out here. So I don't know what it was, but I sure didn't feel too good. Whew. It was strange. But so I laid in there for, I don't know, I guess probably 2 or 3 hours. But I feel better now. I mean, my stomach still ain't right, but I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up. But I don't believe I'll be cooking any supper tonight. I'll just have to see if I feel better in the morning. Well, it's gonna be proper cold in the morning, boys and girls. It's only like 17 or 18 degrees right now, with it feels like 6 or 7. I don't remember what it was, but because it's actually really windy. I don't know if the mic is picking that wind up or not, but you can see by the fire, there's a pretty good gust coming through here, and I was looking at the weather just a little while ago, and it said by, I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be down to -2, and then progressively get colder from there. So, by the time I get packed up and out of here, who knows how cold it's going to be. So, I don't know if I'll cook breakfast in the morning or not. Chances are I might not, just because I got to get all this stuff packed up, and I don't know how. If I feel all right in the morning, I might go ahead and cook a little breakfast. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what my malfunction was, but whatever it was, it felt pretty serious for a minute. Who knows? Now, the seasoning that I put in that chili was something I've never used before, and I didn't read on the packaging what was in it, but it was Kinder's brand chili seasoning. I've never had it before. I like to try things I've never had before in the seasoning realm, and I probably should have read on it because I'm highly allergic to mushrooms. I can't eat mushrooms at all. So there's that. I probably should have read it, but typically I have a lot worse reaction than that to mushrooms. So I don't think that's what it was, but who knows? But it is definitely wintertime here in Wisconsin, boys and girls. Now, earlier, out the back of my truck, I could see some lights up this way. There's nothing up there but 2 bathrooms and a closed road. And there was actually 4 sets of lights up there. And I don't think it was car lights because they were moving around independently. So I'm not quite sure what was going on up there, but they never came back by here. And there's no way out going that way other than on foot. So I do not know. Who knows? The weather is definitely going to turn against us in the morning. It's probably a good thing that I'm leaving tomorrow. Not that I haven't been perfectly comfortable out here. I've got plenty of clothes on. I got long johns under here and long john shirt under here. So I've been really warm. And then inside the back of that truck, shoot, I've been so warm in there. I keep it warmer in there than I keep my house at home. It's been pretty nice. I actually did just add some fuel to the diesel heater just because I'll probably run it on a higher speed tonight since it's going to progressively get colder throughout the night. And I didn't want to have to, get up in the middle of the night and my skivvy's coming out here trying to put some diesel in there. There's 2 do not do's in the world of diesel heaters if you're not familiar with diesel heaters. Number 1, you don't let them run out of fuel. You just, that's taboo. But the biggest thing is when you get ready to turn it off, never disconnect the power from it until it goes through a complete off cycle that it has to do. It has a few things it has to do and it properly cool, and it takes a minute. So don't get in a hurry. Just let it do its thing after you hit the off button, and you'll come out a lot better off. It's a hard lesson for some folks to learn, but diesel heaters in this kind of weather can be your best friend. They don't put any condensation in your sleeping quarters or whatever you're trying to heat. Like there was a time, I don't remember, it might have been when I was camped in Iowa. It was cold and I was sleeping without heat, and when I woke up there was condensation on the window, and I even had a window cracked, for ventilation, and condensation was just everywhere. And if you use propane heat, you're going to get condensation everywhere. A lot of people swear by those little buddies, Mr. Buddy, whatever, but that is definitely not your first line of defense against cold. You don't want to be heating your tent or the back of your truck or your rooftop tent, any of that stuff. You don't want to use one of those things unless it's absolutely necessary. And you can buy a diesel heater for what one of those costs. So there's really no need to ever use one of those things, other than you don't have to lug around a jug of diesel fuel. But it's worth lugging around the diesel fuel to have the diesel heater. Much drier heat. I couldn't imagine being without one. I think I'm working on year number 3. I think this is my 3rd year with diesel heaters, and I would never want to be without one again. I have my next video after this one's going to be an introduction to another diesel heater, and I think I've got 4 diesel heaters, and each one has its own set of pros, and I don't think there's many cons to any of them. This HCalory, it's got far more pros than cons with that. I've had that remote up in the topper with me, and I feel comfortable with that CO sensor that's on there, and the temperature sensor that's on there. It's like the thermostat in your house. That thing, it truly works. It's been doing me a right good job. I'm happy with it for sure. But I've never seen, and I don't know everything there is to know about diesel heaters. Don't get me wrong. I am not the authority on diesel heaters, but I haven't seen any other ones on the market that have that the temperature sensor on the remote. Most all of them have remotes now, and as far as I know, always have. But having those sensors built into that remote, that's the biggest game changer for me. The 7.5 liter fuel tank, that's a big deal, but it's not. There's a lot of other ones on the market that have bigger fuel tanks, but I personally haven't seen any other ones that have that up-to-date remote, and that one being rain and snow proof. That's a big deal too, man. So if you're considering a diesel heater, they all basically do the same job. Some just do the job better for longer, or more conveniences, I guess. So, like I said, my first diesel heater, that thing is antique, but it's got a remote control. Never have to get out of whatever I'm sleeping in to start it or shut it off or any of that stuff. So, really, you're limited on diesel heaters by your budget. If you don't want to wrap up $200 or $300 in a diesel heater, you can buy a diesel heater on Amazon for $75, or maybe even cheaper with the holidays coming up. I'm sure there was Black Friday sales coming out to Yin Yang, but if a diesel heater's what you're looking for and you're budget minded, there's a ton of them on Amazon, super cheap. I don't know much about TikTok shop or any of that stuff. I see stuff on there all the time. Vivor always has excuse me has a lot of stuff on the TikTok shop, but I don't know how to go about all that. But I do personally have a Vivor diesel heater. Butch has a Vivor diesel heater, and they work. They work good. That one Butch has talks to you. I don't know if you can understand it. It's probably Chinese, but it talks to you in a somewhat American voice. I don't know. I know a lot of people have had trouble with diesel heaters. Personally, I have not. And I don't think Butch has had any trouble out of his diesel heaters, so I'm definitely a fan. Like I said, I heat my garage at home. It's a 800 or 900 square foot garage, and you're not going to be walking around in there in your shorty shorts and your half shirt, but it makes it tolerable in there when it's 8 or 10 degrees outside. You can work in there in just a light a hoodie or something and be plenty comfortable. So it does the job. Yes, sir. Well, kids, I guess I'm just gonna sit around this fire and burn up this wood, and then put things inside the cab, so just in case a coon happens to drive by, they don't tear my garbage open, or I don't care if they eat some of that chili. That'd be enter at your own risk kind of stuff right there. That stuff might have went. That might be what got me down with the sickness. So I don't know, kids. It might be a fast morning in the morning. I might start loading this stuff up early. Depending on how early I get up. I didn't sleep at all when I was in there. I watched a couple videos and listened to an audio book. But, so if it's not anywhere close to late yet, I don't have a watch with me. I got 2 watches and they're both in that truck, so it shows you how watch oriented I am. But anyway, it's still relatively early in the grand scheme of bedtimes. So if I do end up falling asleep early, I'll probably get up super early, and I might check out of here maybe before daylight. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel and how crazy the weather is. I know y'all have noticed I only got one mitten on. These are those flip top mittens, and I had them folded back like that doing something earlier, and I caught this one on something and it tore it almost off the glove. So they're not faring too well. I'm going to do something different with that. I'll have to sew them up with fishing string or something. I normally always carry some really heavy-duty industrial thread and then one of those hoop-shaped needles for like sewing car interiors and stuff. I've been carrying one of those for when I can get my hands on one for years. Every now and then I'll lose it and I just be without it for a while. But with Amazon, you can find about anything. So I ordered like a 10-pack of them bad boys, and I carry them in one of my backpacks that I take everywhere with me. But this just happened, just moments before y'all tuned in here. So I'll get it sewed back together. Oh, man. But other than that, it's been a pretty uneventful evening. Like I said, there's been a few people walk by. Not much going on. A guy came by pulling a camper trailer, so I don't know if he's staying up on the other end or if he was just cruising the scene. But it was like I don't know, maybe a 25 or 30 foot camper. So he was about to be living in luxury, but not having any water. It's cold enough it'll freeze your water in just a little bit. Now in the morning, it may be cold enough I can do that. You take the boiling water and you toss it in the air and it just turns to mist, just disintegrates. I've done that before, but I don't know if it'll be quite that cold in the morning. With any luck, it won't be windy. I'm hoping with those kind of temperatures, you don't want them temperatures and wind both. Well, somebody's going to pay the price for all that. But y'all know what I might do after I got a couple of videos coming up I gotta do, and then I may do a side by side comparison of diesel heaters, because each one I have is, I got it at the very end of the beginning of the scale money wise, all the way up to the most expensive one I have is that HCalory. So I could kind of show you all the differences between them if you're kind of on the fence about what you need or what you want or what you can afford, which is always what I'm looking at, what I can afford. But I can do that. If y'all want to see that, just put it in the comments if you want me to do that video. I got a couple of pretty cool things coming up. I don't know if me and Butch are going to do a Christmas video or not. I don't know if I'll have time to squeeze that in. I don't know what his schedule is like. I haven't talked to him, but I don't really know what my schedule is like. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know what today's date is. You know, it's somewhere between maybe the 12th and the 15th. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't have any idea. But when that's what happens when you get old. You can't remember days and dates and all that stuff. Anyway, I do know what date it is. Today is Friday. I do remember that. I saw that somewhere earlier. It's Friday. But anyway, kids, that's really all I got. I've got about 5 more sticks of wood to burn up. So I'm just going to chill out here by the fire and enjoy the peace, quiet, and the humming of the wind coming through here. And then I'm going to turn in. And I guess I'll see y'all in the morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. I woke up this morning, I looked out the back, and somewhere in the night, I got a neighbor in a tent. Oh, I'm not sure I would be bold enough to be out there in a tent, without some serious heat. But anyway, I just thought I would show y'all that. As soon as it gets a little more daylight, I'm gonna bust up out of here and make some coffee and get my stuff packed up, because it is time for me to go. But anyway, I'll catch y'all outside. Hey everybody, good morning. I'm just trying to get some coffee water rolling here. I heated a little water, trying to get what was left in my coffee cup thawed out. But it's a process apparently. But we're getting there. Yeah, we are getting there. It is seriously cold out here, y'all. I mean, everything on me is cold. Y'all hear that ice clanking around in there? Just now getting ice unfroze out of here. Yeah, I'm definitely not cooking breakfast this morning. I'm just gonna make this coffee and then load this stuff up. That's all I'm gonna do. It's chilly. I don't think I ever had to deal with this kind of cold camping in Arkansas. I don't think it's, well, not that I can remember anyway. Maybe when I was a kid or something, but we thought stuff in the teens was cold. And if it got down in the single digits, it was really cold. I don't remember camping when there was no digits. The whole negative deal. But I think it's going to progressively get colder today. I'm not sure. The weather forecast changes so much. You don't know. And I don't think we know any more than they know, or they don't know any more than we do. But anyway, all I'm doing is waiting on this coffee, and then we'll start getting this stuff packed up and wrapped up. I got my truck running now only because I've transferred some water up to the front floorboard of my truck, because it's in the way in the back when I start packing this stuff up. So I didn't want it to freeze right away, and this kind of cold it'll freeze, before I could ever get my truck warmed up. So I started it up, got the heat running in there, and I still got the diesel heater running in the back of the truck, keeping stuff back there from freezing. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here, and then this coffee made. We'll start packing up. Hey everybody. I hope you can hear me this time. That last clip I did when I was over there messing with the coffee, I don't think it took. I think my... Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm getting my camera squared away there. So I was sitting there at the campsite, sitting on the tailgate of my truck, telling y'all some lies of some kind. I don't know. But all of a sudden, I finished up, and it was rather lengthy, my normal outro. I was about to talk to y'all about something, and I went over and got my phone, and it had stopped recording, shoot 20 seconds into it. So anyway, what I was saying was I enjoyed the trip minus the cold and getting sick yesterday. I mean, I thought I was really ill of some description. I was worried about it for a minute, but took me a little rest in there. I got all right after a little while, so can't complain. I feel pretty good today. But hopefully the video I took showing y'all my neighbor, the dude that showed up in the middle of the night and set up a tent. I'm hoping he had a heater of some kind in there because, overnight the temperature dropped quite a lot. And, you're in there in a tent, you got to have some pretty good covers and stuff to keep you right. Shoot. Like I said, in the back of that truck with that diesel heater running full blast, it's negative. When I woke up, it was -1 outside and -7 with the wind chill, and it was 60 in the truck. So, I was comfortable because I wasn't using them, but inside there I had 2 0-degree sleeping bags, a down quilt, not one of the big giant ones you put on your bed, but like a backpacker's down quilt or a hammock down quilt. So super warm, very lightweight. But I was toasty in there, I didn't have my feet covered up. But in that tent, man, I kind of felt bad for them. Had they started stirring around when I did, I'd have offered them some coffee or something, anything to warm up their gizzards. But maybe they were more prepared than I understand. They might have had, coffee machine in there in that tent with them or something. But I don't know. It was fun, but everything is a lot more work when it's this cold out. You got to take measures to keep all your stuff from freezing. I mean, your food will freeze solid. Like yesterday, my eggs were half frozen right in the shell. I had to do some negotiating to get them out of the shell. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun. And I don't know. I think this would probably be my last trip before Christmas, I think, because we got Christmas things going on. But I did bring a Christmas tree with me. And I had it out. I just never showed y'all. So I'll put it like up here, or over here, or down here. It'll be somewhere, my little Christmas tree. So anyway, y'all, I'm about to dump off my garbage and head for the house. And I'll see you guys next time in the woods.